MPIKA Town Council will be making its submission before the committee, and this is on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Keep watching Parliament Television.
Before we start our meeting, I'd like to state Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia that gives immunity to the members of Parliament when they sit in Parliament and in such meetings. This is extended to you such that you are equally protected by the same Cap 12, that whatever you say before this committee cannot be used against you in the courts of law or outside this meeting. However, if you willfully choose to mislead this committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. It is my belief that you are going to share factual information that is going to help us to come up with a report that we shall present in the main house. With that said, Secretary, once again, be calm and you are welcome to your committee. Preliminary issues before introductions. Are you the one who was there in 2023?
Yes, Chair, I am.
Thank you. Director Engineering? Okay. Auditor?
Yes, Chair, I was there in 2023.
Okay. Procurement? Okay. I think we have sufficient personnel to help us. Then we can introduce ourselves.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Good morning. Good morning, honorable members and permanent witnesses. My name is Msenga Samuel, Council Secretary. And with me, I've got my team. And, let me allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay.
Starting with our lady.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Martha Chikwanda. I'm the Director.
I hope your mic is off. Okay.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, everyone. My name is Martha Chikwanda. I'm the Director Planning. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Amon Chera, Internal Audit and MPIKA Town Council.
Okay. Can you switch off your mic, Internal Auditor? Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Bruno Sowade, Procurement Officer.
Okay.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lushinga Chuta, Director Finance Lusangazi, accompanying MPIKA for the period under review.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Ngoma Lawrence, Director Engineering.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and the committee. My name is Asparo Kayama, the current Finance Director.
Okay. Thank you very much. AG's office.
Thank you so much, Chair, and good morning to you and the honorable members. Good morning, MPIKA Town Council. My name is Makrob Maki. I'm the Acting Director also of the Auditor General Muchinga Province.
Thank you. DF, your mic should go. Yes.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, MPIKA Town Council. My name is Akepson Mulenda, the Acting Assistant Director for Muchinga Province.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm the Parliamentary Liaison Officer, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, CS and your team. My name is Mumba Saka from Ministry of Finance National Planning, Office of the Accountant General. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and the honorable members of Parliament and MPIKA. Good morning. My name is Jeffan Siame from the Office of Control of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to you once more, and the honorable members of your committee. MPIKA Town Council, you are welcome to this session. I'm Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of Parliament. Good morning, everyone. I'm Beatrice Kamangala, coming from Local Government Service Commission.
Thank you. Clerk's office.
Thank you, Chair. Simaloli Namwenga, coming from the Clerk's office.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, and good morning once again, our witness. Good morning to you. I am Chidimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you.
Honorable Fobusakia.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. Kalopa Juma is my name. I represent the good people of Sakale constituency, Kitwe in the Copper Belt. Thank you, Chair.
Mufumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. And MPIKA, you are welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm a Member of Parliament from Fumbwe.
Honorable Fosiavunga.
Chairperson, I thank you and good morning to you. Good morning, permanent witnesses. MPIKA Town Council, good morning. Good morning, my colleagues. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavunga constituency. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Member for Mitete.
Chair, good morning. And in MPIKA Local Authority, you are welcome to your committee. Mutelo Mishek, MP for Mitete. I always encourage witnesses to take their time. Chair, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, humble servant. CS, my name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair your committee. Before you present your report, we encourage councils to submit any information that you think is relevant. If you have an addendum already prepared, you are encouraged to share. If there is any information that you think that you omitted as you are preparing your report, you are free to do so. With that said, I would like to encourage you that you can now present your report.
Thank you very much, Chair. In terms of additional information, we don't have.
Okay.
So,
I
Chair,
thought that the first thing was going to apologize for giving us pictures that we are black and white, then they cannot be seen properly. And the way you have done your report is quite strange. However, we just noticed that is different from the way other councils are doing their reports. But we shall look at the report.
Thank you,
That
Chair.
was on a lighter note. But I thought that we would say, no, committee, we apologize for giving you black and white. And that you cannot determine that what is this when you look at it. However, we shall permit you to go ahead and we shall admit whatever, hoping that we know each other, that tomorrow you will change. You do a good thing.
Sure, Chair. With that guidance, Chair, and let me take this opportunity to apologize on the first 2 pages.
Yes.
Yes, the way we picked these pictures, it's the way they came out in the Auditor General's report. But the pictures that we submitted, even under appendices, I think they are all in color.
Okay.
Sure, Chair.
You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. So MPIKA Town Council is appearing on paragraph 58 and also on appendices 1 and 1.1, 2, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10. And Chair, we are appearing, our report is in 2 parts. The first part is on specific findings, and then the other part is on cross-cutting issues. So, Chair, allow me to proceed to page 4. So the first query, Chair, is on delayed completion of projects. And we have got 3 projects or 3 queries under specific findings. So the first query is on construction of Michael Chilufyasata Mother Shelter. Cause of query: the delay in the completion of the project was caused by the need to include the cooking shelter, which was not part of the approved funding of the initial scope of works by CDFC. This meant that a variation order had to be done, which was approved on 10th September 2024. Action taken: the project has since been completed. See Appendix 1. Remedial measure: management will ensure that projects are done within the stipulated project timeline. Query number 2, Chair, it's about completion and electrification of Shanghai Market. Cause of query: the delay was caused by non-performance of the works by the contractor despite giving them an extension of time. Action taken: management terminated the contract and engaged another contractor under a labor-based contract. The project has since been completed. See Appendix 2. Remedial measure: management will be ensuring that non-performing contracts are terminated on time in order to avoid delay in completion of the projects. The query number 3, Chair, rehabilitation of 1x3 classroom block at Chibaye Primary School. Cause of query: the delay in the completion in the project implementation was caused by non-performance of the contract by the contractor, who abandoned the project at some point. Action taken: the contractor was instructed to go back to site, which he did, and resumed the works. The project has since been completed. See Appendix 3. Remedial measure: management will be ensuring that projects are completed on time. So, Chair, allow me now to proceed to cross-cutting issues.
Yes, as you deal with cross-cutting issues, when you reach the issue of Palace, you skip it.
All right, thank you, Chair. So under cross-cutting issues, the first appendix is Appendix 1, which is budget, funding, and expenditure. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to submit that the difference between the budgeted amount and the funds received by the council was as a result of the retained funds amounting to 936,751 kwacha, 8 ngwe for construction of the Chief's Palace, and 115,681 kwacha, 1 ngwe, was retained to ensure the CDF monitoring vehicle. The over-expenditure of 36,355,741 kwacha against the received funds of 27,261,470 kwacha was due to the balance of 20,600,008 kwacha, which was also spent in the year 2023. Action taken: the ministry is implementing the project for construction of the Chief's Palace, and the contractor is being paid by the ministry, while the council does the monitoring and supervision. The insurance for the monitoring vehicle was also done by the ministry. The balance brought forward from 2022 has been spent accordingly. See Appendix 4. Remedial measure: Council will continue monitoring and supervising the project until it is completed and update our financial records. Appendix 1.2, this is the one I was advised to skip. So allow me to proceed to Appendix 2, Chair, which is total unspent funds. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to submit that the funds amounting to 10,747,165 kwacha remained unspent as at 31st December 2023. This was attributed to the fact that the council received the funds towards the end of the year which is 8,625,088 kwacha 92 ngwe was received on 14th November 2023, and 5,861,469 kwacha 92 ngwe was received on 29th December 2023, totaling to 14,486,558 kwacha 84 ngwe, of which 3,739,392 kwacha 84 ngwe was spent before the close of the year, leaving a balance of 10,747,165 kwacha. Action taken. Management wishes to state that out of the unspent funds totaling 10,747,165 kwacha, a total of 8,805,360 ngwe had been spent on all CDF components just in the first quarter of 2024, leaving a balance of 2,530,710 kwacha 23 ngwe at the time when the Ministry of Finance and National Planning was mopping funds from councils, and because it was a small amount, our council was spared. See Appendix 6. So, Chair, the table below gives a summary of unspent funds as at 31st December 2023 by 31st March 2024. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes relating to the implementation of all CDF components within the available funds. Appendix 2.1, unspent funds, community projects. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors on the outstanding amount of 3,711,171 kwacha as unspent funds on the 2023 community projects, which was at the time of audit. However, management wishes to submit that at the close of the year, funds amounting to 6,202,767 kwacha was actually outstanding as committed funds for payments of works in progress and retention held. Action taken. Management had spent a total of 5,508,256 kwacha 19 ngwe out of the 6,202,767 kwacha, leaving a balance of 694,510 kwacha 81 ngwe at the close of March 2025, which is held for works in progress and retention to be paid after the defects liability period. See Appendix 7. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes relating to the implementation of all CDF components within the available funds. Appendix 2.2, unspent funds, empowerment grants. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors on the 100% performance rate on utilization of the empowerment grants as at 31st December 2023. This was attributed to the hard work exhibited by all the stakeholders involved in the processes of disbursement of the funds. Action taken. Management had spent all the 2,151,851 kwacha received for the empowerment grants to various beneficiaries by the end of the year. See Appendix 8. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes relating to the implementation of all CDF components within the available funds. Appendix 2.3, unspent funds, empowerment. Actually, Chair, this is a repetition of the appendix which I'm just from reading. So allow me to proceed to Appendix 2.4, which is secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to submit that the funds amounting to 1,840,280 kwacha was unspent at the time of audit. This was attributed to the approved skills development bursaries beneficiaries who did not report in various skills training institutions in the year under review. However, management wishes to submit that the funds have been utilized. Action taken. Management reported to the Constituency Development Fund Committee about the 1,840,280 kwacha, which remained unspent in 2023, and the CDFC resolved to have 935,863 kwacha at Ngwe varied to community projects, while the balance of 904,416 kwacha to Ngwe was added to the 2024 allocation to sponsor more learners. See Appendix 9. Remedial measure. Management will enhance sensitization in collaboration with WDCs to ensure that the approved beneficiaries see the need for skills development. Appendix 2.5, unspent funds administrative component. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations, the auditor's observation made on the 238,624 kwacha overspent funds on administrative component under the 2023 allocation. Management wishes to state that the negative variance was as a result of funds brought forward from 2022 of 623,436 kwacha 45 Ngwe, which were only spent in 2023 during monitoring of some 2022 CDF projects, which were being implemented in 2023 as indicated in the ledger. Action taken. Management wishes to state that part of the funds under the 2022 CDF administrative components were spent in 2023 while implementing 2022 projects, and leaving a balance of 384,812 kwacha 45 Ngwe. See Appendix 10. Remedial measure. The Council will strictly adhere to the administrative cost budget to ensure that all payments are made within the budgetary allocation and avoid disrupting any other CDF components and bring any budgetary constraints to the attention of the Ministry. Appendix 3, 2022 community projects. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors on the 100% implementation of the 2022 CDF community projects as at 31st December 2023. This was attributed to the hard work exhibited by all the stakeholders involved in the implementation of the projects. Action taken. Management has since handed over and commissioned all of these projects. See Appendix 11. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite the implementation of the community projects to ensure our communities receive the much needed services at the right time. Appendix 4, community projects. Cause of query. The delay to implement the outstanding project was caused by contractors not responding to the bid following several adverts because of the bad terrain in accessing the project site. For the project in progress like Kazembe Maternity Annex, the area is cut off for 7 months during rain season, making implementation on the project difficult. Action taken. Management has since completed 10 out of 12 projects highlighted by the auditors, while the remaining 2 projects, and these are construction of Chief Chikwanda's Palace and construction of Kazembe Maternity Annex, are at 65% and 60% respectively. See Appendix 12. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that projects are implemented within the stipulated timelines. Appendix 5, analysis of performance, youth, women and community grants. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the analysis that 100% of funds were disbursed to beneficiaries. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all the funds under the empowerment grant component were disbursed to all the approved beneficiaries for the year 2023, achieving 100% disbursement efficiency. See Appendix 8. Remedial measure, management will endeavor to disburse 100% of funds to all approved beneficiaries. Appendix 8, performance analysis, soft loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to submit that the funds amounting to 395,785 kwacha were unspent on CDF loans at the time of audit. This was attributed to the Provincial Constituency Development Fund Committee approving 36 loan applications out of 41 submitted by the Constituency Development Fund Committee. Action taken. The CDFC varied the remaining funds to capital project component for the 2024 community projects. See Appendix 9. Remedial measure, management will enhance sensitization and capacity building in business proposal writing so that the projects meet minimum requirements in line with the CDF guidelines. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to submit that the council did not recover a total of 700,589 kwacha from CDF loans empowerment beneficiaries, despite several engagements. The failure to recover the loans was due to non-responsiveness by the beneficiaries. Action taken. Management has continued engaging the beneficiaries on the need to pay back the loans, it being the revolving fund as guided in the 2022 CDF guidelines. Through the same engagements, management has so far recovered a total of 400,815 kwacha, of which 154,017 kwacha 11 ingwe for 2022 and 246,798 kwacha for 2023 from the 55 beneficiaries. And these are in 2022 they are 19 and 36 in 2023 out of 2,094,889 kwacha accumulated for the 2023 disbursements. See Appendix 13. Remedial measure, management has continued engaging the beneficiaries on the need to promptly repay the loans so that others can also benefit. Appendix 10, secondary boarding and skill development bursaries. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the number of CDF-sponsored beneficiaries under the skill development and secondary school boarding bursaries, where only 412 out of 446 students and 198 out of 263 pupils graduated. The variance was due to the number of students and pupils who were still doing their programs, while others had not completed their secondary education. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the total number of graduates under skills development has increased from 412 to 429 out of 446, while the total number of graduates under the secondary boarding school bursaries has increased from 198 to 219 out of 263. The remaining 17 students, each doing three-year diploma courses under the skills development bursaries, are completing 2025, while the remaining 56 pupils under the secondary boarding bursaries are still in school. See Appendix 14. Remedial measure, management will endeavor to continue monitoring all sponsored pupils and the students under CDFC. Chair, I submit the report for the committee's consideration.
Thank you very much, CS, for that presentation. We'll start with Honorable Kamondo, Honorable Mulunda, then Honorable for Mangango.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I just want to seek some point of clarifications. I think there are three. One, two would go to the Council Secretary, and one point of clarification to the Ministry. If you allow me actually to ask.
Yes, yes. Sir.
Thank you. I take you, Chair, to page 13.
Let's go to page 13.
Yeah. I've gone through Appendix 13 just to find out actually the progress that has been made in terms of loan recovery. The query is failure to recover loans. Chair, you would agree with me that one of the challenges that we found in the other councils is that applicants who applied for more money according to their budget, the business plan, some of them were given less money. And what resulted from giving them this money is that they ended up actually defaulting because they could not take the actual program of work that they had decided to work on. But here in MPIKA, I find that they did a very good job. I think most of the applicants were given according to what they had applied for, according to their business plans. Now, they've decided actually there's this failure to recover these outstanding balances. In some cases, there are some that have not paid for a very long period of time. Some of them, they have got 14 months of arrears, despite actually being given 200,000. For me, I was thinking maybe the reason why people could not pay is because they didn't have enough money to undertake. And yes, you know, and you agree with me, at the threshold, actually the maximum is 200,000 kwacha. The government did very well, the council did very well, they gave them the money. But they've not paid. I want to take you to Appendix 13.
Let's go to Appendix 13, Council Secretary.
Through you, Chair, Appendix 13, item number 4, or this applicant, the name is Wapendwa Surgery and Laboratory. They applied for 200,000.
Item number?
Item number 4 on this schedule for 2022 loan report. If you follow me, Chair, through you, item number 4, there is just the first one, the first page.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There is Wapendwa Surgery and Laboratory, who applied for 200. They were given, and the monthly payment that we are supposed to be paying is 5,000 per month. The loans were disbursed on 22 August 2023, and then the number for loan repayments, I think it's about 48 months, and then amount in arrears 70,000, months paid 0. Months in arrears 14 months. You go again to the second one, just next to the same one. The scenario is the same.
Grow mat cleaners.
Yes, low mat cleaners. And then you go to another one, which is supposed to be on 16, item 16, which is Shami Limo Farms, who also got 200. I just decided to pick those 3. There might be others who have also defaulted in the same way. Now, the question that I have, first of all, MPIKA Council made an effort to write them actually demand notices. Now, when I was going through, I did find that the demand notices for these 3, I couldn't see them. So I'd like actually, Council Chair, maybe in case they are there, if these 3 who got the maximum threshold were written to or they were not written to. That is my first question. Then the second one is maybe to go to the ministry. According to the CDF guidelines, This is the only peculiar situation where the people in MPIKA, despite actually government putting in place this issue of giving them loans, they couldn't give all the money. There was a balance, and this balance they decided to vary it to community projects. So I wanted to find out from the ministry whether this revolving fund is supposed to be varied, or maybe to wait until those that could have applied maybe can also get it. So those are the two concerns that I've raised through you, Chair.
Thank you very much for those wonderful observations, Honorable Kamondo. And even the second one, before the ministry can come in, the council secretary can also, because they're given guidelines, then the ministry will also say something. Start with the first one.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll start with the demand letters. The question was, did we issue the demand letters to these three loan clients? Yes, Chair, the answer is yes. We issued the demand letters to all the loan beneficiaries who have defaulted. And actually, several engagements have been made. But despite making an effort, I think others are reluctant to pay back. So, but the council has not just sat idle. We have continued engaging our people so that they pay back this money, and once they pay back, I think it will help others also to benefit. Chair, maybe let me just also elaborate more. Like last week, we received even our Honorable Minister of Local Government. So when he came to MPIKA, this is one of, I think, the issues that we presented to him. And actually, he had indicated that as a local authority, we have to go ahead and push these people. If it means to use other means, we have to do that. And actually, that's where we are heading to, Chair.
Yeah, before you go to you haven't shown us the three that were picked. Number 16, Shamilimo. Shirumbiro Farms. Shirumbiro Farms, 200,000. The other one is Wapendwa Surgery and Laboratory, 200,000. The other one is Glomat Cleaners and Catering. So show us, because these others you have shown us the letters you wrote to them, but why these three? The demand notices are not there. Could it be a coincidence, or what are you hiding?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think on that one, maybe we just missed when we were compiling the report. However, maybe...
How do you miss those who got the maximum? Strange. You only pick those who got small amounts. That's why you threaten them.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, Chair. However, I think if your committee can allow us maybe to ask Director Planning to call one of the officers at the office to send to scan those letters now, we can do that. Otherwise, the demand letters were issued, Chair.
A follow-up, maybe you answer the other part.
So on the variation, Chair, yes, before I call upon Director Planning to shed more light. Yes, Chair, we have read the CDF guidelines, and I think the recommendation that we took to the CDFC was to allocate these funds to other applicants. But the CDFC thought it that maybe there was a pressing issue for the community projects. There was a Tishala health post which did not have the equipment, so they decided to vary the funds towards the procurement of the equipment for child health post.
Did you get authority from the Minister of Law Government?
No, Chair, I think we didn't, and on that one we erred as management, because we could have advised the CDFC to say no. I think this is against the CDF.
You're saying you could have advised?
Sorry?
Who could have advised the CDFC?
We said we as management, we could have advised the CDF's committee adequately to say, no, this is not in line with this is not in line with the CDF guidelines. But in terms of variation, Chair, the Treasury and Financial Management circular number, I think, number 4 of 2022 gave I think the powers or authority to principal officers to do variations within this 25%. And then in 2023 again we received another one which gave an outright authority to principal officers to vary these fines.
Honorable Mwene, or the same?
Yes, on the same, Chair. Just would like to find out from the CS, apart from the demand notices, Chair, what other engagements do you engage these loan beneficiaries on to be able to pay back? Because I've just seen demand notices here, but you say you keep on engaging. Which other means do you engage them? Do you then, apart from that, if they completely do not pay, what do you think of doing next to enable them to pay, as you were guided by the minister?
Thank you very much, Chair. So in terms of engagements, yes, we have been having meetings with them, and actually we, at some point, we even escalated this issue to the CDFC. The committee which resolved that will start calling these loan defaulters, of which we are doing. And in terms of what other options would MPIKA Town Council Management take in order to ensure that these defaulters who got the loans pay back? Chair, we are thinking as management that I think we can apply the Public Finance Management Act number 2 of 2018, because these are public funds, and the law actually allows us to take legal action against the defaulters. So that is I think the next option that we're intending to take.
You were thinking, you said you were thinking of using the Public Finance Act number 2 of 2018.
No, Chair, I'm saying we are intending to apply the provisions of the Public Finance Management Act.
These loans were 2022. When do you want to? When is your intention going to be actualized or to be put into action?
Just, Chair, I think as we are coming, Chair, I instructed my legal officer to start the process. So as we are discussing, Chair, the process actually is underway.
Because you are appearing before this committee?
No, Chair.
Yeah, because we were wondering, you have been there all that time, you are not doing anything, and the Public Finance Act of 2018, it has been there and you have been guided. You appeared before this same committee on operational accounts, and you have always been guided to institute action using the same act. But you don't do that. Then you are coming, then you say, we have just instructed them. Let's go back to the same issue that Honorable Kamondo raised. There are certain issues that you have not cleared. Even when the Minister of Law Government has given you powers to make decisions, the belief of this committee is that monies for loans are locked for loans. Monies for secondary school bursaries are locked for. So You, as long as you have been given the threshold to make decisions, variations to do with the paying for school children can be valid to do any other thing. That's the clarification we need. Because these monies, as they are released by the Ministry of Local Government, they are saying this money for loans is so much. Monies for bursaries, that's a percentage. Monies for administrative component, that is a percentage. And making a variation for the same, you need to seek permission from the ministry. But if it is an allocation, a variation or any decision to do with the community projects, that is, and within that threshold, you can make that decision. But those variations you are making, Minister of Local Government, we seek your guidance maybe on this one.
Thank you, Chairperson. Just to guide, I think one, not even thinking, the council misled itself. The 3.5 that is being cited has no such provisions, and just as your committee has guided, funds under loans, because the aspiration of government is that the extent of beneficiaries under loans actually will not be low in any constraints, will not be low. The only provisions that are given here is where you have on bursaries and skills, where you have low uptake, you would vary those to community projects. And the guidance was that those should go to educational projects.
Yes, yes.
Much more important is to cover skills training centers, because for certain constituencies, then you are cutting down on the expenditure of learners going to other districts. So on this, the guidance is that MPIKA just make good of these funds from the community projects where these monies went, so that the people that are pending on your list for loan applicants are given these monies. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Follow up, then Honorable Mulunda will come with his question.
Maybe before the follow-up, Chair, on the same clarification for Ministry of Local Government on the secondary and boarding, who's supposed to give authority to vary the same?
The authority to vary is you make an application through the PRO to the ministry.
The ministry?
Yes. It's the provincial government officer as guided. What has happened in MPIKA, your mic, sorry, it's very strange. You don't do that. That was the wrong thing. You must seek permission from the ministry through the provincial government office.
Well guided, Chair, and
Honorable
we have
Kamondo, clarification then.
Yes, finally.
Your mic should be off.
Finally, just on the same one, having clarified this situation, because if we left it unchecked, other councils actually would fall into the same play. And then I just wanted to have comfort. This is very serious. The MPIKA Council should make an effort to make sure that they get those 3 demand notices. Because this is very...
She was checking. I think she has gotten them. We want to have before close of our session here.
All right, Chair. We'll avail them to you.
You know, this is a very sensitive matter. We were made to believe and conclude that maybe the reason why there is too much default is because people are not being given enough money. But now, even after people have been given enough money under the maximum threshold, so that they can do the projects and start paying back, so that others also can benefit from the same 200,000. Then they default for 14 months. And here comes a council which want to, so they knew very well, this is something that was highlighted by the auditors. They knew very well that this information would be very important and we want to see it. Then they decided to leave it because these people got a lot of money. I think this one should come to a stop, because we don't want people to favor others. Those who have got small amounts, they are paying. But those who got high amounts, they are failing to pay. 14 months, they can't pay. And still more, they tell us that, no, those demand notices are not there. I think we would need them. I just wanted to overemphasize that this is not right.
You have put it very clear and very well. Let's allow Honorable Mulunda. We move. Honorable Mulunda, you have the question?
Yes, sir. Chairperson, I'm on page 4.
Let's go to page 4.
I'm looking at the delayed completion of the construction of Michael Chirufyasata Mother's Shelter. I wanted to find out, Chairperson, if this particular mother's shelter, because when I look at the response, management response, says, Chairperson, the delay in the completion of the project was caused by the need to include the cooking shelter, which was not part of the approved funding of the initial scope of works by CDFC. This meant that a variation order has to be done, which was approved on the 10th of September. So I wanted to find out first, was this mother's shelter within the building, or it was standalone?
Council Secretary.
Chair, allow me to invite Director Engineering.
Engineer.
It was within the building.
Where is the variation order?
Appendix 1, Chair.
Thank you. Let's go to Appendix 1. Where is Appendix 1 on my file?
There's variation order number 2.
Number?
Variation order number 2. It was done on the 12th September 2024.
When was the same? Where are the IPCs for the first contractor?
Chair, there was no termination on this contract. Unfortunately, we didn't come with IPCs, but we can provide them.
Chairperson, the engineer is saying, can switch off your mic, sir? The engineer is saying this, the cooking component of this mother's shelter is inside, is inbuilt. But I can't, from the pictures they have provided, the clear evidence they have provided. What is this standalone? Are these toilets or something?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe we didn't just get the question proper. So we thought when you said, was it a standalone, we thought you meant it to be outside the health premises. But in terms of, yes, the position of the structure, Chair, yes, it's a standalone. So the picture that you are seeing on your left, the one that you referred to as toilets, that is the cooking shelter. So, and initially it wasn't part of the main building.
Yes, sir.
Chairperson, if that is the response I'm getting from the Council Secretary, then I'll still go back to their response, Chairperson, on page 4. Because now, this is a standalone thing. And then they had that which was approved by the CDF. They said, let me just read again. The delay in the project, in the completion of the project, was caused by the need to include the cooking shelter, which was not part of the funding. So, Council, sorry, not Council Chairperson. My Chairperson.
I receive.
My Chairperson, on page 4. On page 4. They had to wait. There is a main shelter. So how can they wait until that one is included? Why didn't they work on the shelter? They finish the shelter, and then they have this standalone, this cooking shelter. Because if it wasn't inside, how did it delay the completion when it's standalone? Thank you, Chairperson.
Director, are you getting the question?
Yes,
clear?
Chair.
The query is delayed completion of Michael Chirufyasata's mother's shelter, which was allocated funds, which was supposed to end 28th December 2023. Now, if you look at the question that Honorable Munda has asked, it took almost 1 year, 2023, 28th December 2023, to September 2024. That's when you are doing evaluation. And the reason you are advancing is that because of additional works on the cooking shelter. The cooking shelter had nothing to do with this project, which was allocated enough money to be completed. Why did you take long to complete the mother's shelter? Engineer.
Thank you, Chair. If you look at the picture, the
picture is blurred.
The standard drawing for the mother shelter is supposed to be together with the cooking shelter. Like if you see in the middle, it's being anchored by a pathway.
We are seeing the scope of work. Let's go to page 1. Read the scope of work for this Michael Chirufyasata mother's shelter. And read for us. First, read the name of the project.
The name of the project is construction of Michael Chirufya Mother's Shelter.
What do you understand about that? Is it connected to the cooking shelter?
Yes, as per the drawing, it's supposed to have a cooking shelter.
What have you read?
Mother's shelter.
And the cooking shelter comes with its own scope?
So the mother's shelter is supposed to have a cooking shelter, meaning like the
was
cooking shelter is part of the mother's shelter.
Hold, my brother. Let me control the meeting. And I'm speaking to you. Switch off your mic. We are on serious business here. The one you are adding as a cooking shelter, did it come with its own allocation of funds?
Initially, it was supposed to
My brother.
Chair, maybe let me comment. I think the question is straightforward, Chair. I think the query that he read is talking about the mother's shelter. I think the cooking shelter is initially not part of this. But the reason why we decided to bring in, Chair, the issue of the cooking shelter, when we started constructing this facility, we received a letter which is attached as Appendix 1 from the District Health Director.
Dated?
Dated 20th October 2023. Who raised serious concerns about the omission of the cooking shelter. But the initial project, I think, did not have the cooking shelter, Chair.
And what has been queried, what we are reading, is what?
It's a delayed completion of the mother's shelter, Chair.
No issues of cooking shelter. Honorable Mununda.
Chairperson, Council Secretary, thank you very much that you are sticking to the query that you have submitted and the response that you are giving us. CS, the response you are giving us, actually, if we go down to your response, this response is actually wrong. You are not supposed to, in your response, to bring in the mother's shelter.
The cooking
I
shelter.
mean the cooking shelter. It's not in the query. The Auditor General here was concerned with the
delayed completion
of mother's shelter. That's all. So in your response to bring that, because that was supposed to come as a component on its own. If you look at what you submitted, it says the CDFC committee approved the funding of the mother shelter, period. That one we are bringing, because if you are saying they didn't approve, they are waiting for the cooking shelter, yes, you would have agreed. But they approved that project, it should take off. The mother shelter should take off. So that response is immaterial. It's not supposed to be there. What the chairman is asking, the chairperson, is the query that is coming from there. What happened? Because you are funded and approval is given, why didn't you do that? You wait for all those months so that at the end of the day they query you and you do that. But you would have gone on to do the project on the shelter.
Maybe let me read the contractor. The contractor is a front page construction. Front page was given this contract to construct a mother shelter at Michael Chilufya Sata Hospital. In the scope of works, there was no cooking shelter. And the experts from the Ministry of Health are the ones who came to say you left out the cooking shelter. In October 2023, and this project was supposed to be completed by 28th of December 2023. Before completion, there was this information that you received in October, correct? And if that was the information that you received, it was going to now to make you apply to the CDF committee for a variation to add extra scope to include the cooking shelter, which after approval was supposed to come with additional funding. Now, what is being queried and being asked here is the mother shelter, which had the full payment approved and is supposed to be completed December 28th, 2023. Now, you took so long, Council Secretary, Engineer. Why did it take so long for you to do a variation? September 2024, almost a year. Why did it take so long for you to do a variation? And what was this contractor who was supposed to finish this? Since the cooking shelter was supposed to be independent. It was not within the same building, no. This is a mother shelter. A cooking shelter is situated next to it, outside. They can't cook inside where mothers are sleeping. So you confirm this independent. But what stopped this mother shelter to be completed? That's a question, Council Secretary. I want to hear from you and your engineer.
Director Engineer.
Thank you, Chair. I think on that one we erred because we thought that the project had to be delayed so that the cooking shelter, they are finished at the same time.
So that delay, switch off your mic. That delay, what? Almost 9 months or 10 months delay just to do a variation, not to do the procurement, just a variation, to seek for a variation. Why did it take so long? What was the contractor doing? And what financial implication has it created to MPIKA Council?
Thank you, Chair. Before I invite Director Engineering, I think on the delay for almost 1 year, initially the cooking shelter did not have its own allocation. So we are waiting for the 2024 community projects component. That's when we applied to the CDFC, and the CDFC had allocated the funds for the...
So what was the contractor doing this front page construction? What was he doing? And what do you call it in engineering or maybe in the council? The contractor is supposed to be working, money is there, then he's not doing anything. What did you call that period? And what did you call it in MPIKA or in the engineering language or whatever technical language?
Direct engineering.
A short one before we respond.
Before the director responds, Council Secretary and the Director Engineering, you, Council Secretary, are saying we had to wait so that we apply for the next allocation. Director Engineering is saying we delayed, we erred because we delayed. First, both of you, or let me say management, do you understand the use of the mother's shelter at a hospital? My guess is just as yours. That thing, we are going into rainy season, and they needed the shelter, and this is the reason as to why CDFC approved it. Whether there is no what, but people could not be staying under trees when government has given money. So you, Council Secretary, this year they give you the money for mother's shelter so that they are not soaked, so that they have a shelter where they can be in. Say, oh, we have forgotten to put the cooking shelter. So let's wait until that time. Is there any logic in that way? Why did they approve it in the first place? I thought you would say, actually, yes, our response is wrong, we delayed, and give other reasons as to why you delayed, because the chairperson is belaboring here, asking you to say, no, what was the contractor doing? Because you had all the money. So sometimes I think it's very good that when you realize that this is not correct, we admit and move on, other than trying to complicate things, because now it's like you don't care about the people of MPIKA. If the CDFC doesn't approve the cooking shelter in the next sitting, you don't mind. Women can just be staying under trees. It's okay. Yet the money has been sent to MPIKA.
Director, what do you call that? Maybe we just get your professional definition of that period where money is there, the contractor is there, then he's not doing anything for 1 year, waiting for a cooking shelter. What did you call it in engineering or whatever local government language? We want to learn, we are members of parliament.
Chair, there is no specific term for that one, but in this case, the contractor had to be delayed because the mother's shelter is for mothers, meaning that they can't just be in the mother's shelter without where to prepare their meals in the same mother's shelter.
But they would rather be under a tree.
No, Chair.
So before this mother's shelter, you can't be justifying. You see, I'm not trying to conclude, but what we are picking as a committee, there are serious lapses in engineering, procurement and audit. The whole procurement chain, council secretary, in the councils under CDF is under question. These people, engineers, are very well trained, like any other. But you see, every council, you'll notice any omission, it has to do with the engineer. And you know, they have lost the credibility. They are able to justify wrong things. Or how can someone who knows that the value of a 2022 financing to a project to be delayed up to 2024 has got financial implication on the council? And that is his role, to guard against that, to ensure that the contractor is doing the work correctly. But now they are trying to justify, all of them, even the ones to come. When you check this, what is happening with our engineers? The answer is very simple. I'm beginning to conclude that there's a lot of collusion, and these people are the ones who are now dealing with contractors. That's the only conclusion you can make. He is an engineer, well trained. He comes to say that. So it is not only in MPIKA. This is across, and members, not check this. The whole procurement chain should be checked. Those who are involved, from engineering, audit, procurement, at the any other, you find how they are defending the contractor. There are some councils here. There is one letter you have written to one of the contracts here. You have written an extension to a contractor who has not applied. There is no letter from the contractor, but here you are saying following your what? When you check this, it's not there. And this is happening. I'm beginning myself, I'm checking. How true is it that we have a challenge with engineering? It's not true. There's something wrong that is taking place. So these are issues that all of us should take home. Check, my brother, you are a council secretary. You will notice this. These are highly trained, well-trained, highly trained, some of them abroad. But what is happening in engineering is a mess. The issue is a personal, nothing to do with their qualification and the education background. It's got to do what they have found in the councils. Oh, here. I have a message here I couldn't share because it's sensitive, but I can share with my colleagues. It's happening. Even yesterday when we were dealing with Kanchiwea, I will share with you, honorable members, individually. You see, even the MP, what we noticed yesterday in engineering is the same. So you are failing to answer to him. Because he has noticed on behalf of this committee there is a gap. Sorry to tell you this. It has nothing to do with you. It's the environment you have found that you are now flourishing there, defending contractors who are failing this government. 1 year. There's nothing that you feel. It's normal. These are public resources. They're not yours. So I thought I should make a mention. Honorable Pavuma, the question.
Thank you, Chair. It's a new question. With your indulgence, may I take the committee to page 9?
Let's go to page 9.
Appendix 2.4. Secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Here, we had spent funds of 1.8 million, 1.8 and 40, 280. On the cause of query, they are saying that these unspent funds, Chair, were varied to projects. And they've referred us to Appendix 9 as well. The evidence is cited. Let's go to Appendix 9. Here they've exhibited minutes. They've also exhibited requests for variation. My first question here, Chair, is remember when the Minister of Government was giving guidance on the procedure on how to vary. I asked that deliberate question because I noticed on this evidence the CS himself approved the variation from the CDF committee to vary the skills development fund to projects. So my first question is, why did you vary yourself instead of you seeking for authority to vary from the ministry? Second, where are the contracts of these projects? Where you directed these funds? Where are the financials, IPCs? And what is the status of these projects? You have not indicated here. You have just said they were varied to projects. You even end there. And the same spirit, Chair, they've exhibited it on page 7, Appendix 2, where they've just said they spent 10 million without giving financials. All the necessary documents were not given. Again, on page 8, Appendix 2.1, same spirit, where you have spent 5 million without giving any evidence and the status of the projects. So those are my first questions, Chair.
Council Secretary, as we wind up.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I will tackle the issue of the variation. And then in terms of expenditure, we invite DF to shed more light. Chair, on the variation, as I indicated earlier, I think if you look at the financial and the treasury management circular number 6 of 2023, I think gives principal officers the authority to vary. I think we received that correspondence from the secretary to the treasury, and it's there. But let me quickly, Chair, mention that though it's not part of the submitted documents, but I have it on the phone. If I'm permitted, I can share it with the members.
Okay.
Then,
maybe before he proceeds to another question, I got the witness right when you talked about the circular number 4 of 2022 and the second one for 2023. You said you have been given authority to vary within 25%. And what you are talking about, this is 34% of the unspent. You said within 25%.
Thank you, Chair. I said the 25% applied to the earlier circular, which was issued in 2022. But the outright authority, which is indicated in the circular, the latest one, the Treasury and Financial Management circular number 6 of 2023, we have been given 100% authority to vary as principal officers.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that, for the appearance. What we have noticed is that there are very big challenges in the project management. If you look at the 3 projects that were picked by auditors, they have been delayed, although completed. These were 2022, most of them, but delayed to be implemented, up to some of them this year, some of them last year. So that gap is what is worrying to government and to this committee. Projects should be implemented on time. We have some of the councils in your area, shining examples. Yesterday we had Mafinga with 0 audit on specific findings, on specific projects. Why can't you be the same as MPIKA? The other thing that we have observed is the issue I want to repeat, and those who are listening. The engineers who are making councils to fail to monitor or to supervise these projects are qualified engineers. Let us take interest as to why it is making these engineers compromise on their duty. Let us take interest to find out what is making procurement compromise on their ethical expectations. Equally as auditors who are supposed to be gatekeepers. The whole procurement value chain or implementation process of the CDF, because a lot of money has been put by government in this area. So personally I started checking on that and have respect for our engineers. But what is happening is not okay. So you as supervising officer, take that interest. We are also beginning to be unfair to the contractors. When you are appearing here, you'd only come with letters that we engage the auditors, the contractors, but they are not responding. We are being unfair to the contractors. There is no engagement that takes place. Some of them are within your towns. So because they are not here, you take advantage of that. So take note of that. We are not going to be allowing councils bringing letters that we engage them without them to be. Then what was raised particularly for you is the 3 companies that you gave 200,000 kwacha each. Up to now we have been waiting. Why didn't you write letters, the same demand letters? Have you found them? I'm winding up. Hello, let's have, may I have your attention? I'm winding up. This is the culture that you have. You forget. Why did you bring demand letters for those small companies, small businesses in MPIKA? You are able to warn them that the bigger ones, you can't bring them. Then you tell us, no, we are going to call someone. You are going now to manufacture letters for them that you have not even handed to them. This should come to an end. And that is the more reason why the minister had to stand in MPIKA and tell the whole nation people should repay loans. And that's the minister said, use whatever means. That is a loaded statement. Not only MPIKA, all the councils. people should pay back. It started with the president, and the minister has picked from the president. Now it is you. So we want to appeal to auditors. Take interest, auditors, to MPIKA. How many people are paying from that statement from the minister? We don't want it to be just like any other statement. We should have respect for policy. So he stated it in MPIKA. We want to see people are paying. Follow those. And they have said any means, collect from them. Then the other thing that we have observed from you is this circular that, or the mandate that the government has given to councils to make decisions. No, let us not abuse that goodwill that has come from government, because the government wants to see these projects to be implemented on time. We are crying that no authority was delaying. They have given us authority. How come you, as a council, you start varying funds for loans, and yet there are so many people in MPIKA there and in these other councils who want to be empowered, as it was said by honorable members of this committee? You sit, no, let us stop these loans, let's vary and do a project. I think, Minister of Law Government, I would like to ask you to clarify which votes should be easily tempered with. Because the moment you do this, each council, one day, they will not even pay for the pupils in schools. They will just decide this is not a priority, and we shall get all the money and do this. It's possible. You see what is happening now. So let us take interest. You see, too much freedom you give, let us also be following up whether they are doing the correct thing. Because what happened in this particular case was not in order. There are people there in MPIKA who needed to be supported. And that's the intention of the president and his government, that people should be given this. But now we are getting the loans to do projects. And those projects are taking over a year to be completed. The value to the people is not there. Loans, they're not given. The project is taking 2 years, so the people cannot see the benefit, immediate benefit. So I wanted to mention this to MPIKA and any other council. So if these people who have been given thresholds, 1 million, you can make a decision. Let us have a mechanism of checking. So with that said, I want to say that go back and put your house in order. We want to see change. We have got shining examples who are doing very well. We don't want to see MPIKA. Next time we do a report, even when it is coming from the report of the AG, can you do a better one? As you go and ask Mafinga Council, go and ask Mwense Council, whichever is near. Get their report. See how they do their report. This structure of your report. Even just this. Are you seeing, Nakonde, the way they've marked the appendices? This one. You can do better. Even the report, the way they've done it, we don't need to struggle. You see, Honorable Mulunda, he has forced to remove the glasses, and today I was wondering whether it's him, because he's not used to that. But to read this, he had to get his magnifying glasses. So we don't want to restrain ourselves. So we want a report that everyone can read and follow. The essence is not, we are not interested in your report. What we want is, we don't want MPIKA to come back here, because there will be no audit queries in MPIKA. Don't come back. Go and do a correct thing now. So we are not interested. You do a good report so that you come. No. What we want is zero audit in MPIKA. And always seek guidance from the Minister of Law Government through the PRGO or direct to the ministry. With those remarks, before I remove the immunity, I'll ask Honorable Kazinga to make a comment.
Chair. Just to make it clear, even where there are variations that are supposed to be done, Chair and the committee and any council, it has to sit on clear, verified data that you didn't have the much needed numbers. In this case, that data has to come all the way from the WDCs. That in such a ward, there were no learners for boarding, that in such a world there were no students for skills. Because as for boarding secondary school, a child can learn at any boarding secondary school across the country. So it is not necessary that you don't have a boarding secondary school within your district jurisdiction, no. So it is not as easy as we can think that we can just vary, because the intention of government is to ensure that poverty alleviation it is at all levels, and is to start with is the young girl or boy in this country, who should be accorded the opportunity to go and study in an environment such as a boarding school, and go and obtain skills at a trade school, and add the value to the job creation that government and private sector are creating in the country. I thought, Chair, we could submit as such. Thank you very much.
That is welcome, well guided, and he was not talking to MPIKA, he was talking to all the councils. Let us follow what the Miss is saying. With that said, I would like to remove the immunity that was earlier given down to you, and we want that information about the 3 companies share with the Secretariat immediately, so that we keep record. And with that said, I wish you well as you go back. Go and put your house in order. Thank you very much for your appearance.
Thank you very much.
Local government accounts. And earlier on today, we did have Kauma Town Council, and the committee chairperson did guide the Kauma Town Council to go and put their report in order, and that a later date will be given to them for them to make a reappearance. And later on this afternoon, we do expect Nakonde Town Council to make a submission before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. So keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you.
Get into the football action. And he's done it in! He took his time. McTominay! Enjoy the fun cartoon. Stop! You don't know what you're doing.
Yes, I do. I'm frying up some eggs.
Tiger! Swim! And go! You know what to do. The jaw-dropping drama.
Oh my God, the grasshopper is in again.
Hey, hey, hey.